When I was a little girl, my parents would take me and my sister Camille to my grandmother's house in Mississippi for summer vacation. The seasonal conditions in Mississippi were quite different from Milwaukee's harsh, cold atmosphere, and the summers especially boasted God's hand in creation. The abundance of herbs, shrubs, flowers, and trees revealed His power. And even as a little girl, I found it amazing that the vegetation was so distinct, colorful, vivid, and alive. We had a lot of good times during our summer vacations. Big Mama, my grandmother, would wake us up early in the morning and cook breakfast. The smells from smoked sausage, farm fresh eggs, homemade biscuits, and boiled coffee all served as our alarm clock. And after a good meal and a good wash up, Big Mama would take the lead and teach us life skills for the women of her day. She taught us how to wash clothes, clean house, shell peas, and shuck corn. In the evenings, after all the work was done, Big Mama would reward us with a hearty dinner and a Bible story. I now understand that I am the manifestation of one of her many prayers. My most favorite times were when we would ride to Mendenhall, Mississippi, or as Big Mama would call it, ride into town. The adults would chat in the front seat while Elvis Presley crooned on the radio, and Camille and I would find a million silly things to laugh about. And after a few rounds of hand clapping to Miss Mary Mac, 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 all dressed in black, 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 with silver buttons, 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 all down her back, 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 the road would guide us into a shadowy, dense forest. I would eventually slip into quiet amazement from watching rows of trees sweep past the backseat window. Tree after tree stood proudly in the lush green grasses, only to be interrupted by an occasional swamp. I loved the vibrating sounds of the wind, the car, and the trees all interacting with one another. Da-da-da, shh, da-da-da, shh. The sky often glowed in blue and orangish hues as the sun delivered flashes of brilliance through the trees. The forest was the most fascinating part of going into town and always left me filled with God's divine warmth. One day after going into town, my understanding of life changed forever. Pop, pop, crack, crack went the tires as Mama's car slowly crept into Big Mama's gravel driveway. Just ahead stood Big Mama's dingy white wooden frame house, complete with a Ringer washing machine on the front porch. Cats, dogs, and chickens scrambled to avoid being hit, and my eyes were drawn to Big Mama's flower garden that God naturally planted before I was born. The garden was to the right and in the middle of the grass, not far from her dirt walkway. Each flower grew wildly in the Mississippi sunshine and made me wonder how God could possibly think of creating so many different blossoms. Before Mama could stop the car, Camille and I jumped out and ran into an abundance of butterflies decorating the garden. We gently approached them, pinched their wings, and played with their tiny feet before releasing them to freedom. We laughed wildly after every release, and upon hearing our excitement, Big Mama went into the house and emerged with a mason jar to capture the beautiful creatures. She poked holes in its top and promised that if we put a butterfly in the jar, it could easily breathe. Camille and I finally chose our favorite butterfly to place in the jar. For hours, we marveled at the transparent wings tapping the top and sides of the jar. But like so many Mississippi days, this one also slipped into evening. And as quiet and darkness began to cover the sky, Big Mama locked up the house for the night and promised that we could play with the butterfly in the morning. As the morning sun began to awaken the earth, I quickly jumped out of bed and ran toward the front porch to visit my butterfly. I didn't care about breakfast that morning. I only wanted to play with my new friend. After I unhooked Big Mama's screen door and pushed it open, I froze at the sight of my butterfly. What happened? I wondered as I saw my butterfly resting motionless at the bottom of the mason jar. The tapping was gone. Its wings were silent. What happened, little butterfly? Oh my God, what happened? As I asked question after question, sadness quickly surrounded me. My butterfly had died sometime during the night, and I could only guess that maybe the air holes were too small. I did not know about their short lifespan. I did not understand my tears. The only thing I recognized from that moment on was that butterflies were happiest being observed in a natural environment, as opposed to being held captive. Their beauty rested in their freedom as they cheerfully sipped God's nectar from Big Mama's garden. Psalm 5:3 says, "Listen to my voice in the morning, Lord. Each morning I bring my requests to you and wait expectantly." I probably prayed something like this in my delicate mind. I likely begged God to listen to my voice. What I did not know in my childish state was that His answer to my prayer would be much deeper than bringing my butterfly back to life. He would teach me my first lesson in letting go of something that I love. Oh God, you are so beautiful. My story is an account of my healing journey as I escaped my mason jar marriage. It begins with the pain of letting go and ends with God teaching me the power of letting go once again. You see, I found myself in a place where I had no choice but to let go. For me, the marriage and the subsequent divorce became reminders that only God can hold, and we have no right to hold on to anyone or anything. While no two experiences are the same, my prayer is that God will speak to those who experience an unfortunate divorce, breakup, or other relationship loss. I wish that I did not have to write this story. If this is true for you, just know that I understand the pain, shame, shock, anger, and grief behind such a loss. The beauty of my journey is that I fared much better than my butterfly friend. The escape allowed unspeakable healing and resulted in me releasing everyone and everything except God. My wish is that you will journey with me as I reveal God's ability to spread our wings. Healing became the conduit to my freedom. Letting go was essential to my transformation.